Namaskar. Welcome to Live on Live Mint. Ladies and gentlemen, today we'll talk about a subject which is very close to our heart. But we only talk about it when we see movies like Namaste London or Pardes. Let me tell you that India has almost 2 crore diaspora spread around the world with almost 200 Indians at the leadership level in political and business spheres. I'm sure आपने उनका नाम सुना होगा. We are also the largest diaspora in the world today. Since 2011, 16 lakh Indian citizens have renounced their citizenship, including almost 3 lakhs in 2022 alone. इस साल अगस्त तक लगभग 7,000 मिलियनेयर यानी कि HNIs have left India, and total Indians giving away that Indian citizenships this year is expected to cross 2.5 lakh. This makes India the second highest country in terms of HNIs outflow, after China. Education standards, probably, ladies and gentlemen, can throw some light here. Close to 8 lakh students went to study outside India in 2022. And almost 90% of Indian students who study abroad do not wish to come back to the country. Is it low Indian passport strength? Is it tax uncertainty in the country? Is it better business environment and job market outside? Better quality of life? Liberal cultural outlook? क्या वजह हो सकती है? Is this a new kind of brain drain? Or is it a natural resource being nurtured by successive governments in India to exert its influence in the geopolitics? We have with us Paresh Karia, who is the CEO of Acquest Advisors, to talk to us on the subject. Paresh Saab, welcome to Live Mint.
Thank you for having me.
And before we move ahead, let me announce, my name is Abhinav Trivedi. I forgot to announce that. Now, Paresh Saab, we used to hear often in our college days, that 36% of NASA employees are Indians. And how India is responsible for its own brain drain. This was like almost a decade and a half ago. What has happened? Is it like with 1.4 billion in number, is our demand outmatching the supply? Supply of better education, tax reforms, cultural openness? How do you see this trend? And is this normal according to you?
Right. So, Abhinav, see this trend, we have seen for many years, Indians have been going abroad. And this is since the pre-British era. Even during the British rule, Indians used to go out to countries like Africa, West Indies, etc. Then they started moving to UK and, US and other countries. So Indians have been known for migrating. Earlier, this migration used to take place more for economic, reasons. People used to move out for better job earning, for better employment opportunities. Nowadays, what we are seeing is that what is increasing is the number of students going out. People are going out, India has progressed. People are fortunately doing well. People are earning money. And now those who are earning good money want to send their children overseas and provide them better education. That is because the education opportunities in India are limited. No doubt we have some very good educational institutions like the IITs and IIMs. But compared to the number of, population that we have, 1.4 billion, there is so much of competition to get among the good educational institutions. The demand far outstrips the supply. So for those who are looking at good quality education, good universities, etc., people have been traveling globally. They've been going overseas. They've been looking at the schools and university overseas. And when they look at it and they look at the education over here in India, then obviously there is an aspiration that, I want to give the best of the education to my children. And those who can afford it. Today, people who are earning money, the primary first investment they want to make is in their education of their children. So that is the reason, with the increasing income, with the competition in India, more and more people are now looking at sending their children overseas for education. And of course, once young people go overseas for education, they look at the lifestyle over there, they look at the quality of life, they get used to living like that, and they don't want to come back. So through this education medium, we are seeing maximum number of people immigrating outside India.
So according to you, Paresh, education is the prime driver. I mean, lack of education opportunities is the prime driver. That is where it starts from.
Yes. Currently, I think that is the one, because more and more the maximum number of students are going outside India to study. We have seen this trend. If you look at the numbers also, the number is just going up. And this is one area where maximum number of people are going out. And most of the people who go out to study, they don't want to come back. So if you are talking about brain drain, yes, that is where it is happening at an early stage where people are going out for education. And that is because they do not have opportunities, adequate opportunities to meet up to their expectation in the home country.
But Paresha, I remember the time when Russia-Ukraine war started, and a lot of Indian students who were doing medical studies in Ukraine had to come back to India, and the number
Yep.
was huge. And
Yes.
the basic problem was that the doctors earning degrees there could not find employment in India. So, do you
Right.
think there is also some, supply demand mismatch as far as global uniformity in education is concerned? I mean, a student studying outside cannot find a good job in India and vice versa. So, do you think that is also one, hurdle in a lot of Indians coming back to India and, deploying their talent in here and enhancing the GDP of the country?
Right. So that is definitely a challenge. Some of the professional degrees, if we talk about professional degrees like doctors, chartered accountants, etc., they are not recognized over here in India. But if you look at the
Yeah.
general degrees, if you look at the university degrees, if somebody has done engineering or management, let's say in US, then obviously that is recognized and rewarded in India. So it depends upon what kind of education and where you are studying. Education, if you are educated in places like US, Canada, UK, etc., this kind of degrees, this education has recognized worldwide. But if you are doing a specific medicine course, and that also from a country like Ukraine, then there will be very few takers for that.
Okay. So, this was specifically a Ukraine example. It's not valid across the world.
Especially for Ukraine, especially for medicine,
Okay. Okay. I get it. I get it.
because it is a professional degree. Now,
Sure.
like for instance, in India, Indian doctors' degree is not recognized overseas. So, if a doctor wants to go and settle anywhere outside India, he will have to study it again. Like in US, he will have to give another test. In Canada, he will have to give another test. Similarly, for chartered accountants, the Indian CA degree is not recognized elsewhere. If you want to go to US, you have to do CPA. If you want to go to UK, of course, in UK you get some concession for chartered accountants, right? So professional degrees are different, but general education degrees like MBA, engineering, etc., they're well recognized.
They're well recognized. So, I'm sure you meet a lot of people from different areas when,
Yes.
people talk to you about immigrating outside. What is the general perception you find? I mean, what is the general takeaway? Why don't they want to come back to India?
Well, one is, of course, the quality of life. The quality
Okay.
of life, overseas, if we are going to countries like US, most of our clients are going to countries like US, Canada, UK, Europe, etc. So one is, of course, the quality of life. There is a, good balance between work life and personal life. Unlike India,
Okay.
in India we are known for long working hours. The quality of life, the employers, the salary, etc., that you get is not at par with what somebody in UK, US. There, you have the minimum hourly wage rate. Everybody is paid according to that. You have to work for minimum number of hours. Nobody works on weekends over there, Saturday, Sundays, right? So there is a good work-life balance and there is a good quality of life over there. So that is one of the reasons why people do not want to come back. Competition, of course, is less over there. Compared to India, in India, for one job, there are hundreds and thousands of applicants. In other overseas countries, it's not like that. So basically, the quality of life, the work-life balance, etc., from an employee's point of view, for people who are working from their point of view, I think that is an important factor.
Sure. Now, अब ये तो हो गई एम्प्लॉयमेंट और एजुकेशन की बात. अब हम आते हैं entrepreneurship पे. A lot of entrepreneurs also tend to register their startups not in India, but somewhere in
Yes.
Singapore or in Dubai. They, they,
Yes.
they prefer listing their companies in foreign stock exchanges. What could be
Yes.
the reason? Is it tax uncertainty, Pareshab? Is it lack of an effective business environment in India? Or is it, corruption at small scale? What could be the reason? A lot of HNIs and talented entrepreneurs are also announcing their Indian citizenships. What could be the reason?
Right. So if we look at it from an entrepreneur's point of view, it is right, correct. A lot of entrepreneurs from India are moving out and setting up business in countries like Dubai and Singapore. So these are the countries where maximum number of people have been going up. And apart from that, they're setting up startups in other countries as well. There are multiple reasons for it. The first reason
Australia
is,
को
of
रात बैठे, yeah.
course, for the first reason, if we talk about, is ease of doing business. You know, when you look at countries like Dubai, there are not too many stringent regulations. It's very easy to build a business. It's a very tax-friendly country. It's
Hmm.
very easy to open the bank account. And of course, over the last few years, we are seeing that it has also become stringent. Otherwise, earlier, it was very easy to open a bank account, set up a company, and do business in Dubai. And there were not too many regulations. There were not taxes. So a lot of Indians were finding it easy to go there and set it up. What we have seen over the last 5 years is Dubai has been actively advertising and marketing as itself as a destination for entrepreneurs and attracting talent. So a lot of entrepreneurial talent is going over there. While brain drain is taking place to Western countries like US, Canada, UK, etc., the entrepreneurial talent is mostly going to Middle East because of the various benefits available, the ease of doing business, the lower taxes, etc. Plus, things in India have been becoming difficult. Over the last five
Okay.
years, we have seen demonetization, we have seen GST, we have seen income tax rules getting tighter. There is more emphasis on compliance. The compliance and regulations are getting stricter. So some people are finding it difficult to comply with this new this kind of a setup. On the other hand, you have countries like Dubai and Singapore which provide tax incentives and ease of doing business, so a lot of people are finding it convenient. And from a geographical point of view also, Dubai is not very far away. It's about 2.5 hours flight. It's like just flying from Mumbai to Kolkata, or from Delhi to Mumbai. It's as simple as that. So
Hmm.
that's the reason why people are moving to Dubai. And this has been a
Now,
big loss for our country.
sure. Now, Pareshab, how do you see this trend? I mean, when we compare it to the number of millionaires and billionaires who are increasing in India to the number of HNIs who are moving out of India, the ratio is pretty small. But do you see this as a worrying trend going forward? I mean, we are losing the best of our talent to America, to Canada, to Australia, to Dubai, to Singapore. I mean, if all these, it's not on a cut to cut basis or a case to case basis, but we are losing on our talent. Isn't this a worrying trend?
Well, I wouldn't say that it is a worrying trend. Firstly, this has been happening for years. It's been for
Okay.
years that talent has been migrating from India. And we have people like, Satya Nadella, Sundar Pichai, Indira Nui, etc. These are all Indian talents that they've done well for us. They've done proud for India. They got better opportunities. We never know if they would have been in India, whether they would have got this kind of opportunity or not. you know the environment, particularly when we talk about developed countries in us has got a fantastic environment over there for people who are capable of doing it. People who are capable, they can get the best out of it. It provides a very fertile ground for people to grow. So you know we should not be worried about this trend. It's the number of people that we have over here in our country. We have so many talented people. If a handful of people are going out and are being successful outside, it's good for us. I don't think there is anything to worry
Now, I'm
on
glad you
this.
mentioned that point. Yeah, please complete your statement, please.
Yeah, no, go ahead, I'm done, thank you.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that point, परेश साहब, क्योंकि बहुत सारे क्वार्टर्स जो हैं और इकोनॉमिस्ट के, politicians के, and even amongst individuals, uh, they claim this theory that it is good that the government is also promoting a lot of Indians to go out, because number one, it reduces the load in the country, lesser mouths to feed, lesser demands to be met. Number two, a strong geopolitical influence across the globe. I mean, we have Microsoft chairman as Indian, we have Alphabet's chairman as Indian, we have the World Bank CEO as Indian. A lot of Indian entrepreneurs, Indian economists, and Indian graduates have done well and have been even the British Prime Minister is Indian. So, do you think this is also one of the geopolitical push by successive governments, not only the current government, to make sure that a lot of Indians go out and वहां पे झंडे गाड़ेंगे उससे हमें कोई फायदा होगा? I mean, this is an offbeat theory, but what do you
Honestly, I
think?
really don't think. I don't think it is an intention of the government to do it. It's just that people are finding opportunities on their own. Talent is flowing freely. You cannot restrict the talent. Talent has to
Sure, but
flow
you
freely.
cannot
It
deny
will
the fact
flow
that
in the
it is
direction.
coming as an advantage to the government.
The government is taking advantage of it. Let me say, now that they are seeing that a lot of Indians have become successful, they are saying that look, you can use this people. They are in a very influential position. They are in a good position in other countries, and the government is, I think, trying to take benefit out of it. That is all, and that's perfectly fine. If you have influential people from your community in a particular area, why not take advantage of that?
Sure, sure. Now, Pareshab, coming back to the subject, what can be done better? I mean, do you see a similar trend with other emerging economies as well, like Brazil, or for that matter, Turkey? Are people of Turkish and Brazilian origins also migrating as much as Indians are? Number one. And number two, what better can be done
Yeah,
to,
I mean, immigration as a trend is across. We are seeing people migrating from China. China is the number one. People are migrating from China. There is talent
Hmm,
migration. Even Chinese people are hardworking and talented, but still they are migrating in huge numbers, just like India. China is the number one in terms of migration. We have seen people migrating from countries like Turkey, from South Africa, from Brazil, wherever people are, getting better opportunities elsewhere other than the home country, they are migrating. In fact, we are seeing an interesting trend. We are seeing a lot of Americans migrating as well. A lot of Americans are looking at immigration options. They may not,
hmm,
some of them may not really migrate, but they want to create an option. Today, if we look at, post COVID, we have seen that what COVID can do. There are a lot of travel restrictions, and Americans were also restricted. Americans were not allowed to travel elsewhere. And post COVID, we have seen a huge demand for European golden visas from Americans. A lot of Americans are investing in Europe to get golden visas so they can travel freely. Many of them are retiring. People from California are going to countries like Portugal and retiring over there because you are getting the similar quality of life at maybe at half or one third of the cost in the US. Retiring in US and Canada is not easy. These are expensive countries. So
hmm.
they are also looking at migrating options. So migration is now, across the globe. It's not only restricted to countries, developing countries. Even people from
And
developed
golden
countries are
visas
coming
have
out.
played a very prominent role in inviting high net worth individuals across the globe in their respective countries.
Sorry, I didn't get
The
that.
golden visas, they have played
Yes.
a very prominent role in inviting high net worth individuals from across the globe in their own continents or in their own lands.
Absolutely, absolutely. Golden visas. The other reasons why a lot of Americans are migrating is because of the tax purpose.
Hmm.
If America is the only country which is levying tax based on your nationality, all other countries will levy tax on you based on your residency. Like for instance, in case of India, if you will have to pay tax in India only if you are staying in India for more than 182 days. But in
Paresha,
case
let's
of
keep the focus on India. How many Indians do you think are using this opportunity of golden visa? Investing in other countries than in India because the culture or maybe the restrictions don't allow them.
Yeah. So we are seeing an increasing trend. We've been working on this. The Portugal Golden Visa has become increasingly popular with Indians over the last 2, 3 years, especially post COVID.
Okay.
People realized that how important it is to have a backup plan. The Portugal Golden Visa is the only Golden Visa program which can also lead to, citizenship in a European country without you actually having to stay there. So people are taking it as an alternative option, and we are seeing that. In fact, I was just looking at the data, for the for the last few months, and I could see that in the month of July or August, Indians were at number three in terms of people, those who got golden visa in the month of July. The number one was US, second was China, and third was India.
Hmm.
A lot
Sure.
of Indians are now looking at
Now,
European
coming,
golden visas as a backup option.
okay, I think I lost you for a minute there. But coming back to the last
Yeah,
part of the conversation, Pareshab, what do you think
yeah.
can be done better by the government and the common people alike to make sure that Indians, the talented Indians, I mean, irrespective, people will go outside to explore opportunities. But what better can be done to call these Indians back, or maybe, to restrict the talent moving out of India, the brain drain, which we keep talking about? What better can be done on ground?
Yeah, I think two things that can be done on the ground. One is provide better education opportunities. Like I said,
Okay.
Indians believe in investing in their education, and today we have enough, people who can spend money on a good education institutions. Like we have a handful of IITs and IIMs. We have just one ISB, right? And then there are a handful of other good universities coming up. This is not sufficient enough to take care of the growing Indian population. So we need to invest substantially in creating good quality institutions, educational institutions, and providing good education. It's surprising to find that some of the best professors in US are Indians. They are the ones who have migrated from here and studied in those universities and are now teaching at the universities. Even some of the best, scientists in NASA are from India. So, if we provide an opportunity, Indians, teaching is a very respected, very highly respected profession in India. And given an opportunity, I'm sure a lot of people would like to teach in India if we give them a right kind of a platform. So the first thing is to create a platform so people get good education opportunities over here for studying in India. The second thing is, of course, to provide, after you have studied in India, you need to have good enough economic opportunities. So the right kind of job creation or entrepreneurial opportunities should be available in India after you have completed the study. I think these are the two most important factors if we want to ensure that we are able to retain people in India.
Retain people in India. Last part, Paresh Saab, passport strength also matters a lot. An Indian passport is not as strong as a lot of developed economies' passports is. So that one. And second, India does not offer dual citizenship. I mean, if you choose citizenship of one country, you cannot keep the Indian citizenships. So,
Right.
do you think that the government should also consider? I mean, it's a bigger issue said than done. But do you think that government should also consider, giving dual citizenship to Indians outside India? Sorry.
Well, I think practically it really doesn't matter. Well,
Okay.
emotionally, yes, you may feel you are a citizen of India, but practically it really doesn't matter. I mean, we are offering the overseas citizenship of India status already to Indians outside India. Now, that once you have an OCI status, it is like having permanent residence in India. You have a long-term
Hmm.
visa with which you can freely come to India. You can stay in India for as long as you want. You can work in India. You can do business. You can do investments, all sorts of investments. You can buy property, except of course agricultural land. Other than that, you can buy property. So you can do everything. Even if you are a foreign citizen with an OCI status, you can practically do everything which an Indian can do. So having a dual citizenship,
But you can't vote.
it doesn't have give you any practical benefit unless your passport is strong. An Indian passport is not that strong. With an Indian passport, you can travel to maybe about 60, 70 countries, and those two mostly Caribbean countries or African countries or Asian countries, right? With a foreign passport of US, Canada, UK, you can travel to 170 plus countries all over the world. So if you have an option of choosing, you have an option that, look, if you take up US citizenship, you will have to give up Indian citizenship. You decide between the two. What will you choose? Obviously, you will choose a US passport because which is a much stronger, which will allow you more free travel freedom, especially post COVID. We have seen that travel mobility is very important. So, I mean, you can take up a foreign citizenship, and the OCI status is good enough to give you all the benefits in India.
Correct. So it's more of an emotional issue than a practical issue, according to you. Fighting for
Yes,
dual
it's
citizenship.
emotional feeling that I'm no longer a citizen of India. If I have a passport, I could be a citizen of India, but practically it really doesn't matter.
Really doesn't matter. Paresh Karia, thank you so much for joining us on Live Mint. This was really insightful, and thank you for giving all the insights you did. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Yep. Bye.